Okay, here we go again. Let's round out the final piece of our scoreboard by adding the calculation and the display for the points. Now, the points are a little bit different than the behinds and the goals for a couple of reasons. Firstly, they're implemented in 3 digits, as a 3-digit score is very, very common in AFL football. The secondary way they're different is that the points actually consist of the result of a formula that includes both the value of the goals and the behinds. So the calculation of that value, whilst it's not in any way complex, is a little bit more interesting than what we did for the behinds and the goals individually. And the way we're going to start approaching this is by using a variable, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this introduction to this as well. Let's call this variable home score. That seems like a reasonable name for it. We'll display it up there, and we want that home score to contain the running score for the home team. We want it to be increased by 6 every time a new goal comes in, and we want it to be increased by 1 every time a behind comes in. So the way to do that, let's go to our home goal sprite handler, and we already have some functionality that we're doing when the sprite is clicked. Let's add something to that as well. As well as broadcasting that home goal added message, let's change the home score by 6. And likewise, for the home behind trigger, when its sprite is clicked, let's change the home score by 1. And because we're displaying that variable as a stage monitor, we should be able to see those changes, if they're working properly, fairly quickly. So I'll add a behind rather, so we get one more behind displayed. That's old functionality, but you'll notice we also get the home score being incremented by 1. Likewise, if I do another couple of those, it should continue to increment appropriately, and when I add a goal, it goes up by 6. So it was 3, added a goal, is now 9. Okay. So I'm pretty happy that that's actually working properly. The next thing we want to do is we want to be able to notify the sprites that we're going to use for the points that there has in fact been a change to that home score so that they can set their values accordingly. And the way I'm going to start by doing that is I'm going to broadcast another message when both the goals and the behind trigger buttons are actually clicked. So let's go and set up those messages to be broadcast. It's going to be a new message, and it's going to be a generic one rather than one of the specific ones that we've had so far. I'm just going to say it's called home score changed. Okay, and I basically want to do exactly the same thing for the other one as well. In both cases that either the goals or the behinds value increases, I want to broadcast the home score changed message. Okay, now that's a good point to have a bit of a pause here and make sure you've kind of caught up. We haven't gone ahead and created those new sprites just yet, but we've set up some of the infrastructure and some of the messages that are needed to handle what happens when a score changes. The thing that we still need to do is to create the sprites in a reasonably similar way to we have the behinds and the goals, and make sure that they are being updated accordingly when those home score changed messages occur. And that's what we'll do next.